What can be done? In 1933, German conservatives thought they could control Hitler. 2 years later, they were being executed in their own homes. I spent weeks researching this question, desperately looking for counterexamples, for hope, for any time in history where people successfully stopped fascists after they started winning elections. Here's what I found: once fascists win power democratically, they have never been removed democratically. Not once. Ever. I know that sounds impossible. I kept digging, thinking surely someone, somewhere, stopped them. The actual record is so much worse than you think. Let's start with Germany because everyone thinks they know this story. Franz von Papen, the conservative politician who convinced President Hindenburg to make Hitler chancellor, said we've hired him in January 1933. He thought he was so clever. Within 18 months, the Nazis were machine gunning von Papen's allies in their homes during the Night of Long Knives. Von Papen himself barely escaped to Austria with his life. Every single conservative who thought they could control or moderate Hitler was either dead, in exile, or groveling for survival by 1934. Italy was even dumber, if that's possible. October 1922, Mussolini announces he's marching on Rome with 30,000 black shirts. Except here's the thing: they were poorly armed, disorganized, and the Italian military could have crushed them in about 3 hours. The king had his generals ready. He had martial law papers drawn up. The military was waiting for the order. Instead, he invited Mussolini to form a government. Just handed him power. 23 years later, partisans hung Mussolini's corpse upside down at a gas station while crowds beat it with sticks. The king died in exile. Hundreds of thousands of Italians died for that moment of cowardice. Spain might be the worst because everyone saw it coming. 3 years of escalating fascist violence. Actual assassination attempts. Then in 1936, Franco and his generals launch a straight-up military coup. The Spanish Republic begged for help. France said not our problem. Britain said both sides are bad. America declared neutrality. The result? Franco ruled for 39 years. He died peacefully in his bed in 1975. They're still finding mass graves in Spain. Still. In 2025. Want something more recent? Look at Hungary. Orbán won democratically in 2010. By 2011 he'd rewritten the constitution. By 2012 he controlled the media. By 2013 he'd gutted the judiciary. It's 2025 and he's still in power. The EU has been very concerned for 14 fucking years. They've written strongly worded letters. They've held meetings. Hungary is now a one-party state in the middle of Europe and everyone just accepts it? Okay, but surely someone, somewhere, stopped them. Finland 1932 is the only clean win I can find. The fascist Lapua movement tried an armed coup before they'd secured government power. The military stayed loyal to democracy, crushed the rebellion, and banned the movement. That's it? That's the success story? One time out of roughly 50 attempts, fascists were stopped because they were stupid enough to try violence before winning elections. France in 1934 looked like a victory for about 5 minutes. Fascist leagues tried to storm parliament on February 6. 6 days later, 12 million workers went on general strike. 12 million. The entire country stopped. No trains, no factories, no shops, nothing. The fascists backed down. Great victory, right? Except those exact same fascists enthusiastically collaborated when the Nazis invaded 6 years later. They just waited. Portugal's fascist regime finally fell in 1974. After 48 years. How? Military officers launched a coup. Democratic resistance had been crushed for 5 decades. International pressure meant nothing. The dictator Salazar died in 1970 and his successor just kept going until the military said enough. That's your success story, wait half a century and hope the military gets tired. The pattern is so consistent it's almost funny if it weren't so terrifying. Every single time it goes like this, conservatives panic about socialism or progressives or whatever. They ally with fascists as the lesser evil. Fascists take power. Fascists immediately purge the conservatives who helped them. Then it's 30 to 50 years of dictatorship. This happened in Germany, Italy, Spain, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Greece, Portugal, Croatia, Romania, and Hungary. Want to know how many times conservatives successfully controlled the fascists they allied with? 0. Want to know how many times fascists purged the conservatives after taking power? All of them. Every single time. And here's the part that breaks your heart. Violence works. For them. Fascists use violence while claiming to be victims. They create chaos that requires their authoritarian solution. Then they purge anyone who opposes them. Meanwhile, Democrats keep insisting on following rules that fascists completely ignore. They file lawsuits. They write editorials. They vote on resolutions. And fascists just laugh and keep consolidating power. The statistics are brutal. Fascist takeovers prevented after winning power democratically, 0. Average length of fascist rule once established, 31 years. Fascist regimes removed by voting, 0. Fascist regimes removed by asking nicely, 0. Most were removed by war or military coups, and tens of millions died in the process. I'm not allowed to make the obvious contemporary comparisons, but you're already making them in your head. We can control him is being said right now, in 2025, by people who apparently never cracked a history book. Based on the historical record, there are exactly 3 ways this goes. Option 1, stop them before they take power. Option 2, war. Option 3, wait for them to die of old age. But here's the thing, we already missed our chance. The window isn't closing, it's closed. The Supreme Court declared Trump above the law. He's threatening to arrest political opponents. He's already sent the FBI after elected officials when they haven't committed crimes. Congress is his. Most state governments are his. Billionaire oligarchs openly coordinate with him. The window slammed shut. So let's stop pretending we're in the prevention phase and start talking about what you do when fascists already control the institutions but haven't fully consolidated power yet. Because historically, nobody's been here before, not like this. No wealthy democracy with nuclear weapons has ever fallen to fascism. The 1930s examples everyone cites were broken countries. Weimar Germany was weakened by World War I and hyperinflation. Italy was barely industrialized. Spain was largely agrarian. They didn't have the world's reserve currency. They didn't have thousands of nukes. They didn't have surveillance technology that would make the Stasi weep with envy. America has all of that. Plus geographic isolation that makes external intervention impossible. Plus a population where 30 to 40% genuinely wants authoritarian rule as long as it hurts the right people. The historical playbook is useless here. We're in unprecedented territory. But that also means the old rules about what's possible might not apply.